led them to the Final Four for the first time. You did it in 2012. You did it for the first time since 1960, and you were named the Bristol Herald-Courier's Coach of the Year that year. And was it Tim Hayes that got the interview, or who came up to do the interview?
I think it was Tim.
Or was it
I can't remember.
It's hard to tell. Yeah, we did.
I was named the state coach of the year that year, too.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. Well, Coach, now we're on to the tougher segment here where you got to field some questions for some of the players from our Twitter page. And, Mark, what do you got?
We got 3, and they seem to be pouring in by the minute. So we're trying to hurry through it so you don't get any
Better
more.
look at them close.
So Gavin Austin tweets in, Coach Rasnick, what are the ways to get gone?
Well, there's 10 of them, and I'll share them with them tomorrow. I've got them on a PowerPoint. Being this close to SOL testing, I've sort of forgot my 10.
Jake Johnston tweets in, Coach, who's your buddy?
That'd be my cat.
Your cat.
And they make fun of my cat. I've got a little old, I guess, 3-year-old cat there that it's a house cat. And they kind of give me a hard time on that.
Well, and then you got a follow-up to your cat. Tyler Strong tweets in, what's your cat's name and what goes through your mind half the time?
I compare Tyler to that cat in the sense that both of them's hyperactive.
Well, what's your cat's name? You didn't answer that part.
Latogan.
What now?
Latogan. She's
okay.
little.
That's a name. You've got to bring the cat to one of the shows, okay?
Well, I can do that now.
You got to be, if they'll let it in. I don't know if they will. So, Coach, thank you for joining us. Let's do one more question here for you since it is getting near Christmas time. Let's try to see where we're at here. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Home Alone.
Home Alone. Okay, he's going with. Okay, Mark went with what?
Dude, if you don't, The Christmas Story. There's a 24-hour day of The Christmas Story. How's it not the best one?
It's on TBS.
It's overrated. That's what I'm saying. The Christmas Story's overrated. Yes, he'll shoot his eye out. He does every time.
We got one more Ask Cats that just came in. Jake Johnston asks, please show us how you herd cows.
Not happening.
So no special cattle herding in here at Wild Wings tonight.
No, but I can take them back and let them help me next time we work the herd.
Yeah, that's a pretty good group over here that we can get. But thank you for joining us, Coach. And
thank you, guys.
We hope to see you more often. Hopefully we get to chat with you on Friday before the game. And good luck Friday night and for the rest of the season.
Thank you all very much.
And, guys, give a big round of applause there for Coach Rasnick, as we'll now be joined by Coach Schuler, the wrestling coach here at Virginia High School. We'll be right back here on Bearcat Sports Chat.
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot, knock your shell off. My money stacked fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. The franchise doing big business, I live this, it's automatic. I win this, so you hear those horns, you finish. A soldier, and I stay under you fighting. Plus I'm storming on you chumps like I'm thunder and lightning. Ain't no way you breaking me, kid. I'm harder than nails. Plus I keep it on lock like I'm part of the...
Bearcat Sports Chat will be right back after a word from our sponsors. Listen to Virginia High School football on your computer or mobile device at Spreaker.com/Bearcat Radio. Bearcat Radio is brought to you by State Line Motors. Visit State Line Motors on Euclid Avenue in Bristol.
Welcome back to Bearcat Sports Chat. We're now joined by wrestling coach Josh Schuler. Thank you for joining us, Coach.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
And one more thing, let me get this cleared up. So, about the Christmas thing, Doug Rose tweeted in that I shouldn't be bashing a Christmas story like that. Everybody knows Christmas Vacation is the best Christmas movie out there.
100% agree.
If not, it's A Year Without a Santa Claus. And don't at me, Doug.
What about all the claymation Christmas movies they used to have?
I like claymation Christmas movies. That's when things were good, you know.
Life was simpler.
Yeah, so Doug Rose is throwing shade at me on Twitter, so that's fine. You don't want to get Doug mad at you, you know. We tried to get Doug, of course, had to work tonight, but we were going to say we could have got like a ball thing going, you know, we could have got him off work tonight.
Yeah, it seems to be a touchy subject with any volunteer.
Mark, he turns red every time you mention Tennessee today, and I'm just going to keep doing it. So.
People always see me as the voice of reason for Tennessee athletics.
I don't know. I think you're a lunatic. But
I've got plenty of jokes I can say about the situation.
We'll get to those. We might hold that one for the end. All right, so, Coach, let's talk about preparation and expectations going into this year for wrestling.
Really hard coming off of a season like we had last season. We had a record-setting season. We had the most dual wins in school history. We finished the season, I believe, with 18 wins. Not only that, but we had our school's first state champion in 20 years, and only the fourth state champion in school history. And so there's a lot of expectations coming in to this season. We have a really good group returning, though, very senior heavy. We have 6 seniors, I believe, on the team, and a pretty talented group. Maybe from what Coach Belcher and Coach Castle and I have talked about, probably the hardest working group we've ever had the privilege of coaching.
So, who are the leaders on this team? I know you talked about some of your senior heavy, and who are you expecting to step up in 2018?
Definitely, the seniors that we've had that have been out before. Matthew Dean is a great leader. Alex Atkins, Keegan Simpson, Lance Giesler, and Andrew Robinette's not really much of a verbal leader, but he leads by example. There at practice every day, working hard. It shows on the mat. The kid's only been wrestling about a little less than 2 years, and it honestly has made leaps and bounds of improvement. I mean, he's going to be a really solid wrestler this year. And then we got another senior in, transfer from Chilhowie, a kid named Lyric Cox, and we expect Lyric to do big things too. And we're just really fortunate to have seniors that work as hard as they do. And the underclassmen just really follow suit and have done a good job, and probably some of the best practices I've been a part of as a coach.
Awesome. And we talk a lot about how these guys mesh together. Would you say this group is one of the same?
Yeah. As good as our group was last year and the things that they accomplished, this team actually has meshed better. And they've meshed better than any team that I've ever had the privilege of coaching in wrestling. And it didn't take really a lot of work on the coaches' part. They just came together, and from the first day of practice on, they have just really worked their tails off.
So going into this year, you added Coach Brandon Castle to your staff, and he is one of the best wrestlers in school history. He's an all-time career win leader at Virginia High. What has he added to the staff, and what does he add to the culture of the team?
Well, he brings a vast knowledge of wrestling. He wrestled for us back when we used to, in the old single A, double A, triple A set. We were double A then. He was a state finalist, wrestled at Carson Newman. He's an amazing wrestler. He's a good wrestler and a good coach where I wasn't. I was more of a pin guy. I like to be on top, like to pin. I was just really good at pinning people, whereas Brandon is a really good takedown guy. And he's really good at coaching takedowns. And that's been something we've been missing. And so throwing him into the mix, he's good where I'm not, and I'm good where he was not as good. And so, it's worked well so far, and he brings an excitement. The guy loves wrestling. I mean, he really does. He truly loves wrestling, and I think that he's just been an excellent addition to our coaching staff.
Definitely helps as many players as you have, and I think that's what Mark's getting ready to ask you.
Yeah. How do you approach coaching nearly 24 wrestlers at a time?
it's hard, and we actually added another kid into the team here this past week. He's been out. He's a freshman. He's been out. He had to have some mouth surgery, and so we've actually added even another one. It's very difficult. Last year was just Coach Belcher and I. Now this year having Brandon Castle added into the coaching staff, it's really helped a lot because it's not easy when you're coaching 24 wrestlers and you're trying to get to each of those wrestlers when you're drilling moves and you're practicing and you're trying to, get to each one of them. It's difficult. It's very hard. It takes a lot of energy. You got to bring a lot of excitement, and you got to come ready to work.
Yeah, and you get excited about those numbers, but you also want to be able to have that one-on-one time. And I think, we all know that Belcher's that exciting coach too. You talked about Castle being one.
Yeah, Coach Belcher's great. He did a little bit of youth wrestling. He didn't wrestle in high school, but Coach Belcher's an incredibly intelligent person, and he picks stuff up. And just in coaching with me, he picks things up sometimes that I don't even see. And so he just brings even another aspect of it because he sees it differently than, a traditional wrestler like Brandon Castle or myself do. He sees things that sometimes we don't see, and he's just a great addition, and he brings that excitement and energy to the team.
So, Coach, you have a match coming up Thursday night, or Thursday, November 30th at Sullivan East. What's the mindset going into an early season contest like that?
It's really tough. The thing that other coaches in other sports don't have to worry about that we do in wrestling is we have to be on weight in a certain weight class. There's no other sport that has to worry about that has to worry about this kid's got to weigh this much. And that makes it tough, especially because we're controlled by how much weight they're allowed to lose each week because we do body fat testing and hydration testing at the beginning of the season. So early on in the season, Mr. Harper and I have talked about it. There's going to be some weight classes we have that aren't filled. And, so that if the other team has somebody there, it automatically gives them points. But now later on in the season, come January, February, we'll have all the weight classes filled, and we're going to be pretty strong. So going into East, it's really about just getting on the mat, getting time in. And I've always said it, and it still holds strong, is December is really just practice and getting ready for January and February.
Getting ready for the crunch time.
Yes, sir.
We'll see how the team is able to do with that. And, Coach, just go ahead and tell everybody on the radio and here about the tournament. I know Mr. Harper alluded to it, but you can go ahead and give us a little more detail.
This will be the 7th year that we've had the Ed Kressel Classic, named after my coach and Coach Brandon Castle's coach. Coach Kressel was wrestling coach for 33, 34, 35 years, very long time. An amazing coach. He'll be in the VHSL Hall of Fame one day. And named the tournament after him. It started out small, but we've grown that tournament every year. Last year was our first year. We did 32 teams. This year we actually have 33 teams coming in. We're featuring the number 1 team in the entire state of Tennessee out of Cleveland, Tennessee, bringing in one of the top teams in the state of Virginia, Cave Spring. Cave Spring is very solid, has kids that place at nationals every year, state champions every year. They send multiple kids on to Division I programs. We've got Tennessee High. Tennessee High obviously is a very solid wrestling team. They've had in the past couple of years a state runner-up and a third-place finish in the state tournament. We even have teams coming from Shady Spring, West Virginia, to Rockbridge County, Virginia. So it's a great tournament, and honestly, it's one of the best tournaments you'll find in a multiple state area. Any of the surrounding states, people know that it's definitely one of the tournaments.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture from it. There's several mats out there at the Bearcat Den, so and plenty of room for people to come out and watch.
It is. We had a big crowd last year, especially on that first day. We throw 5 mats down, and you definitely get your money's worth because you see a lot of matches. And day 2, you see a lot of future state champions. I mean, you really do. I'm going to sit down and figure it up, but we have a lot of state champions and all-state wrestlers, and this year we'll have what looks to be state championship team there in Cleveland.
And that's what it's all about, getting these guys to compete at a high level against a different team that you're not going to see, especially once the regular season comes around. So we will see about that. And I think it's time now for the Ask Cats portion of the show. We got anything?
So I'll say this: your players must be asleep. They must be following that proper workout regimen, and they're probably in bed right now because we have none for you. But we can come up with something. What's your best and worst Christmas present you ever received?
Y'all are going to get me in trouble on this one.
That's what I said. I went with the best, but you know, Mark.